The views and opinions expressed by participants in the following public affairs program do not necessarily reflect the position or beliefs of WDEF or its staff.
Since 1954, this is Point of View, the world record-holding public affairs program produced at the studios of WDEF-TV, Chattanooga, and with underwriting community support.
Hello, I'm Maurice Lewis, and welcome to this edition of Point of View. Do we have a spectacular show planned for you today? The Reverend Evelyn Harris is with us today from St. Luke United Methodist Church.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us. And the heavens will be singing and rocking because you have something very special planned. Tell our audience what it is.
I am so excited and enthusiastic to be here today to tell you, Maurice, and the audience about an amazing concert coming up at St. Luke United Methodist Church. We are privileged and honored to have with us on Sunday, October 1st, the BTS Ensemble.
So that sounds familiar, which is what?
It is. Some of your audience, and you may know, that it was formerly the Booker T. Scruggs Ensemble. Now, if that's a name that sounds familiar, Booker T. Scruggs II was a man of this city.
Well, we know that because he was also the guy who helped to found this show 63 years ago, so you know about his musical accomplishments. But first and foremost of all, let's talk about the date again and what's happening in the tickets.
Okay, so the concert is going to be Sunday, October 1st at 3 o'clock p.m., and it's free of charge. And it will be held at the church sanctuary.
The word free is always great, and it's free parking also?
Free parking also.
So we're going to get right to the music because that's the reason why we're here, to celebrate the life of this young man and his recent passing. He will always be missed, but his music will live on. Nancy, we're going to talk about the BTS Ensemble. Go ahead with us, please.
taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Hello, I'm Maurice Lewis, and thank you very much for staying with us as we continue this edition of Point of View. Mark West, we always talk about people who have been blessed, that have a lot, that seem to give a lot to the community, and boy, do we have a special guest with us today that fits that bill. Why don't you take it from here?
We sure do, Maurice. Actually, Dr. Keith Dressler is someone that the community knows as a local orthodontic, but he also is a great entrepreneur, and he's also someone that has been someone who's given back quite a bit as a philanthropist. That's what really
makes him special.
Yeah,
and you know, as a mom, you're here with us, Donna Christian Lowe,
Got way into this one.
But Mark, the reason why you first chose to have Dr. Dressler here with us today was what?
Well, he's a good friend, and so I've known of his work.
Oh, friends in high places?
That's
right.
Okay,
that was
already
good every
calling
time.
names.
But he's someone, because of my friendship, I've been able to see him up close and personal and see that he's more than just an orthodontist.
What impressed you?
He impressed me about his heart. Someone who really cares beyond just putting braces on people's teeth.
A dentist with a heart?
Absolutely.
Well, tell us a little bit, how does that work?
Well, I guess I believe and have always been raised to give back. I mean, my successes would not have been possible if it hadn't been for the patients that I've had through the years, and I wouldn't be where I am today without the patients, which I give credit to my staff, because I'm only one small piece, as you would know as a previous RDA, that it takes a team. It isn't the person. I've always felt myself as the coach of the team, but it takes us all to deliver success and exceptional customer service and exceptional care. You know, that's
I like
that's
that
what I'm
analogy
about.
as being the coach of a team, because you also have done things that permit others to coach in sports.
Yes, I have.
Well, as a parent, I got to tell you, I love going into any practice that I know they care about my child. Dentistry is not easy, as we talked about earlier. It's not easy. It's one of the top industries where dentists and firemen and some of those reside for suicide because of debt and all those things. So to know that you do what you do, I would be glad to bring my kid there.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'd love to take care of it.
I've been to your Facebook page, and one of the things that strikes me about your Facebook page is always you and your client. Usually it's a child, but oftentimes it's an adult. And there's you and that person together smiling. Okay.
Right.
Well, tell us about that. Why do you do that?
Well, again, I think it's all about relationships. I like to know my patients. I like to know their families, get to know them very well, so that we have a great working relationship. Because again, in what I do, it does require the cooperation of the patient. And to me, when you can both be on the same page, be on the same side, then feel free to ask questions and look at me as their friend rather than the doctor in the white coat. To me, the successes, you know, that you get are much greater, and I enjoy watching them grow up. You know, 65% of my practice is children, and I love seeing them grow up. And I've been practicing 32 years now, and I'm beginning to see their children, and to me, that's really, really cool.
You are a local success in that you went to school here locally.
Yes, sir.
You've raised family here. You have relationships, and you are also in this unique club of people who have achieved things and success in life. And now you're turning around and you're giving back. I mean, you're there with Bill Gates. Not to say, you know, monetarily you're in that same category.
Right.
Oh, but if you are, welcome to the show.
Not there yet. Not there yet. Working on it.
But you find time. When I mention your name around town, people say, yes, this is a guy who's always there. He's always trying to do something. What makes you do that?
Again, I don't know. It just makes me feel good inside. I don't know if I'm born that way or what, but to give back, it comes back to you 1,000-fold, and it just, I don't know, it just makes me feel great inside to do things for others, and they've, like I said before, they've done for me to allow me to do for them. So
Well, let me ask you something though. To give back, sometimes it takes some extraordinary success like you've had. Not always, but certainly to be able to give back like you do. I know one of the things that you're really interested in is entrepreneurship. And you personally are an entrepreneur, not just as an orthodontist, but in other things. So there's a company that you've recently founded that I'm really interested in.
Yes.
The name is very unique, but tell us a little bit about that.
Do you happen to have something with you
Yes,
that
yes,
shows the
I
name?
Yes,
Right.
I do have a
Okay.
sign. It is called Rhinogram.
Yes.
And Rhinogram really enables patients to communicate through text to their doctor's office, all in a HIPAA-compliant manner.
Well, break that down a little bit more.
Okay, well, here's the cool thing, okay? You're, let's say, Donna, your child's a patient in my practice. You have my practice phone number in your phone. What Rhinogram allows is you to text that exact same number that you call. So that's the first thing it does, and it brings it into an interface on the computer screen so my staff can text back or myself can text back. And not only that, Mark, you've mentioned Facebook, it brings in the business Facebook Messenger. So for those people like
promoting
yourself,
as well.
that's right.
Okay.
That's right. So all of it comes into one interface, makes it simple to communicate with people, and I can just tell you our patients absolutely love it. And it's really simplified things.
Real quickly, though, you shared with me an example of a mom whose son's braces had come off.
Right.
She texted you a picture. Tell us real quickly in about 30 seconds or so how that worked.
Yeah, the mom texted in a picture. I saw that the bracket was in the very, very back. Nothing was sticking or poking. She said the patient was fine. I basically said, we will see you at your next visit. There's no need to come in. So what she perceived as an emergency really wasn't an emergency, and we were able to handle it without having her
One of the
come
big
in.
advantages in the last 25 seconds that we have, for people who cannot travel, it cuts down the urgency of an emergency visit.
That's
Closes the
right.
gap. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, sir, it
Now,
does.
how do people reach you?
Well, they can call me or text me at 423-894-6318. That's 423-894-6318. And for you doctors out there, look at rhinogram.com.
Rhinogram. I like
Oh,
it.
excellent gift. Thank you very much for being a
Yes,
guest here
sir.
on Point of
Thank you.
View.
Thank you for having
And
me.
you are also one of the generous people that helps keeps a program like this on the air.
Yes,
and
sir.
we could not be more proud to have your presence.
Well, and I'm honored to do that. I love what you guys are doing, and I know you two had talked earlier
Right.
about y'all share a lot of similarities, but some differences. And my opinion about that is I like differences more than I like similarities, because that's how you learn.
Absolutely.
And if I had everybody that was just like me and homogenized it like that, then you would never learn, which is what sort of scares me about social media. That's why, again, I accept all friends. It doesn't matter to me. And I like differences, and I like learning
But
what
this
other
is
people
the reason
do.
why you should talk to yourself every now and then, because you might need expert advice.
No, that's right.
Mark, take
That's
us out of
right.
here. Thank you
Yes.
very much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
coming up next, we're going to, on the Point of View, we're going to talk about what's next with the Point of View team. So stick with us.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it here. So what are you waiting for? Just go to the site.
Thank you very much for continuing with us on this edition of Point of View. Melanie Sakari, we want to thank you for joining us. Donna Christian Lowe, you remain with us as usual. And Mark West, thank you very much. What we're doing tonight is just talking a little bit about who are we and what do we do, and how would we like for you to help us. Melanie, let's start with you.
Yes, well, I think this is a very unique show in Chattanooga in that we are very connected to the community. We're looking for interesting stories and things that are going on, the conversations that our community wants to have, because they don't always have those in every forum. And so we are a great show with some fantastic people and are open to having community input on what we're doing. So.
And not all of us are here, and this is the thing. There are a lot of volunteers associated with this program. Nyara Cancel is not here with us today.
Vincent?
Ruth Hickman.
Yep, Ruth Hickman is out in California. D'Angelo
Beverly.
Yelks is not here. Beverly's not here. So there's a
And
whole
Nikki
range of
Nicholson.
crew.
Oh, sweet baby
Yeah,
Nikki.
sweet Nikki, yes.
Oh, I just let the secret out.
But we do, we have a great team.
And of course, Amy is not here with us also, so we have a very good team. But Donna, one of the most important things that we look for is input.
Yes, we do. And, you know, Maurice, I'm going to compliment you for a minute. You give your team that platform to give you input, so it starts there. But yes, our ultimate goal is to get input from the community. And I love this segment because we want to say, we want to hear from you, the tough topics. And that's what I get the most, that we do have a good mix of introducing great people, but we really deal with some tough topics. So the social media platform is up. We're excited. We've got Instagram, Twitter. So Point of View for Twitter, Point of View for Instagram, and Point of View for Facebook page. But send us what you want to talk about.
And Mark?
You know, I agree, Donna. That's a very good point. We do want to hear what the community is interested in. And a lot of what the community is interested in, I think, are some of the unsolved problems in our community.
Oh, you said a mouthful there.
We have unsolved problems?
Let me see. Do we have enough time?
No, we don't. We got an 8-minute segment.
So, but it seems like the people who are solving the problems have not come up with the solutions yet. And so I think we need to open up to the audience, which is the community. What do you think are some of the solutions to many of the problems we're facing in our community?
Well, the lips, and that's what I call them, they are always moving in their own self-interest, okay? Always want to tell somebody else what to do. Can't pour water out of a boot. You have an analogy about a tractor trailer stuck under a bridge.
Yeah, you know, it's not unique to me, but I heard once this analogy that this tractor trailer got stuck under a bridge and all the bigwigs couldn't figure out how to get it out. And this little boy walked up and he says, let the air out of the tires. And all of a sudden, they got it out. And so the little boy came up with the solution, not the bigwigs. And I'm not putting down our bigwigs around the community. They serve a purpose. But if they're not solving the problems, it's incumbent on the community to come together, the little boys, the little girls, but also the young men and women, the people who are affected the most by the problems, to come together and come up with their ideas.
Well, you know, you just hit the nail on the head,
That's
which
a
is one of the
big
reasons why Melody is here and why
Yes.
she was selected for this show, is because you have a political instinct. You have seen who was not effective in office, and how important is it for people to be paying attention, registering to vote, and letting these people that are currently in office know, I am happy or I am unhappy.
It's really important, because if we keep putting in the same people that aren't doing, I mean, even just listening to both sides of the argument, both sides of the discussion, or all sides of the discussion, we get worse governing from that. And what I love about this show is it's not one particular view that dominates. It's a panel of people. We have different points of view. We want to have a conversation. And we've got to learn to work together, because really I think this city is a mix of different people. And if we can get away from the soapbox and the grandstanding and really get down to the values that we care about, which everybody cares about their community, then we can actually solve some things
When you
together.
stop to realize that in the first part of our show today was dedicated to the memory of Booker T. Scruggs, who was one of the founding members of this show. This show was founded 63 years ago by the Arts and Entertainment Council. As that progressed, Booker T. Scruggs took it over when it became Point of View. We've had a home here for all of these years. Can you imagine the number of people that have come through here with the issues, the problems, solutions, and the fixes that we've dealt with on this show? And here's why and what we need from you now going forward.
Yeah, what we need is to hear what the real topics are. Now, if you want to go talk about a cheerleading competition, we'll talk to you, but I don't think we're going to have that on the show anytime soon. Why? Other stations have that covered. This is truly about what are the important issues, holding our people in office accountable, having a voice for those that don't have one on this show. So that is imperative, and if we ever lose that, those 60+ years are gone. But Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
You can talk to us from your own home.
Yes.
All you got to do is get on a computer.
Something that simple.
Yes, and Point of View, it's all in the name. We've really made it easy. That was your direction. Make it easy for the viewers to connect. So it's a new day, it's a new face for Point of View, and we're all out there. We just need to hear from you.
And the interesting thing that we do, we have a relationship with different educational institutions. We love to bring the young people along. That's how I got my start, and how many years ago, I'm not going to say.
Not that long.
But, you know, I haven't been here on this show for 63 years. But Mark, you had a point on.
Well, yeah, you know, our culture loves to break people up into blocks or groups. And
Labels.
I have found, I can sit down with just about anyone individually and have a cup of coffee. You know, and we can talk on that level.
Well, look at what you and I did. I mean,
exactly.
like politically, you might say that
Polar
we're kind of
opposite.
like, we're opposite, but you know what? We represent what should be happening. We can reach across the aisle,
That's
we
a
can
great
sit and talk with
point.
each other, and we can find solutions to common problems.
Exactly. So if we will set aside the blocks and the groups, okay, and the stereotypes, and get down to one-on-one and just begin discussing with our neighbors, we'll see a lot of these walls come tumbling down.
Because, see, no one would know that I'm conservative and you're progressive. Okay,
Whoops.
we'll get back to the truth here,
Let's
right?
go back to the real story.
Yeah, let's go back to the
Comedy
truth.
routine needs some work.
Right, exactly.
You know, I'm going to touch on something you've done, Maurice, because nobody has done this in the city. Nobody has said, I'm going to go out and find a unique team. And we are unique.
We are.
But you don't see this anywhere else. And the other shows in the community are doing phenomenal. They serve their purpose. But this right here, look at the face of what Point of View looks like. And to me, it's the color of Chattanooga.
Well, this was started for a reason. And we are just stewards of this vessel, and it's our job to keep it healthy and to keep it going. We have less than a minute. You want to close out with something?
I just really encourage people to get involved and to reach out to us. I think we're a very open group.
How do we do that?
On Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. You send us a message.
Point
you
of View
put a
is
comment.
the only channel. Point of View, everything.
Yes, YouTube. We have all of our videos up on YouTube if you miss it, so you don't have to worry about being up on Saturday morning to get the show. And that's, you know, we really encourage everybody to come out and give us the controversial stuff. We're ready for it. We want to tackle them.
And underwriters. We can always use a great new underwriter.
Oh, you're speaking.
Underwriters, yes. I get people texting me, now's your time. If you want to be a part of this, call us. We have a great package we can give to you, and it's very cost effective, number one. Number two, get your brand out there.
And, you know, it's why this show was formed. It's by, for, and about the community. So this show is supported by underwriters and by people like you. Now, Mark, we have something coming up. We had something earlier in the show with the BTS Ensemble. Will they play for us again and close the show out?
I think they're coming up next, so stay with us, and you can hear us close out with the BTS Ensemble next on Point of View.
We need a claim number?
When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving. We're here to help.
Hello, everyone. I want to introduce you to the members of the BTS Ensemble, formerly known as the Booker T. Scruggs Ensemble. There's Mr. William Price on bass, Mr. Greg Malone on drums, Paul Stone on saxophone, and I'm Nancy Westmoreland on keyboards.
Neighborhood University, what an exciting concept. Join us for that and more on the next Point of View.
Closed captioning provided by the following.
Funding for this program is brought to you by Barnett & Company, specializing in tax-efficient strategies for the preservation and distribution of family wealth, offering continuous investment management with a focus on long-term strategies. Areas of service include investment, estate, education, and retirement planning. Barnett & Company, the power of compound returns over time. More information can be found on the web at barnettandcompany.com.